via DPI, Department of Public Information, but businesses also have many ways to be connected to the United Nations, and it's important for you to be connected to the United Nations on issues like trade and development. The other thing that the United Nations does very well is getting people together to set standards and to set goals, and that's of course what the SDGs are development goals that we're all working towards. And so these things are not things that the UN can do by itself. It's not things that the staff can do by itself. It must be done in cooperation with all of us together. And that's really what this whole conference is about, is how we can connect with each other, connect with the United Nations, and get these things done. So our next speaker is David Stillman, and he represents a nonprofit organization, which is a public-private alliance foundation, which is really connecting public and private together to the United Nations. Please welcome David Stillman.
Thank you very much. We are here today to find new ways to encourage public-private partnerships in support of the Sustainable Development Goals, and we're looking at UN member state initiatives, UN policies, NGO passions, and private sector involvement and investment. In the case of the organization I represent, the Public-Private Alliance Foundation, we combine collaboration, innovation, and inspiration and connect a wide range of stakeholders. PPAF is a nonprofit that encourages business and sustainable development with a focus on gender and the environment, primarily in Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and Madagascar. You can imagine I was delighted to hear the great presentation by former President Martelly and the wonderful exchange between Amir Dosal, who's an old friend, and President Martelly. The Public-Private Alliance Foundation has its origins in the interest of the ambassadors to the UN from those three countries, Haiti, DR, and Madagascar, and it started as an initiative of the Economic and Social Council. It develops partnerships, conducts projects, and organizes seminars at the UN and elsewhere on bioenergy, clean cook stoves, sustainable agriculture, and women's empowerment. I should stop right here. Many people don't know what's a cook stove. The cook stove is about this big, and it is used by billions and billions of people around the world, usually wood, charcoal, scraps, animal dung, different kinds of things to cook one pot at a time. Having had a career in the United Nations, I am the founder and the executive director of Public-Private Alliance Foundation. We promote the 17 Sustainable Development Goals and the 10 principles of the UN Global Compact. We're active in the Global Alliance for Clean Cook Stoves, which is a public-private partnership hosted by the UN Foundation that seeks to save lives, improve livelihoods, empower women, and protect the environment by creating a thriving global market for clean and effective, efficient household cooking solutions. I'd like to talk about that area of work today. Families in Haiti are caught in a poverty, respiratory disease, deforestation trap because of the country's heavy reliance on charcoal for cooking. We're helping to overcome that by focusing on non-polluting cook stoves that use as fuel ethanol from Haitian sugarcane, biogas from organic waste, or solar power from the tropical sun. In work for the Inter-American Development Bank, we studied and provided advice on how to improve the ability of Haiti's small-scale distilleries to augment alcohol production and make ethanol for cook stoves. Not only was this to help improve capacities and profits among distillers, but also to help sugarcane farmers find new value for their crops. For the UN Environment Program, we collaborated with a Haitian company to design and test a low-cost ethanol stove and prepare a draft business plan for commercialization. Currently, we have a consortium with 5 other organizations for solar and biogas cooking in Haiti. This includes a solar oven company, a Haitian hometown nonprofit, an association of those researching, promoting, selling, or distributing solar cookers, a somewhat similar association of those promoting and installing biodigesters for biogas cooking, and a program for adolescent girls' empowerment, in which club members learn about healthy living, financial literacy, and entrepreneurship. In Haiti, about 90% of the people use wood or charcoal as their primary source of energy for cooking. This has led to health, environmental, economic, and gender impacts that impede sustainable growth and development. These are hard to overcome, whether through private, public, or non-governmental actions. In order to take steps to transform the sector in Haiti, much attention is being given to making and selling charcoal stoves that are more efficient, to establishing well-managed woodlots and charcoal kilns, and to creating and implementing government policies related to taxes, tariffs, and environmental regulations. Beyond those obvious choices, the Public-Private Alliance Foundation is fostering closer involvement by solar and biogas cooking associations into the relevant planning processes, and building up the budding interest in ethanol cook stoves and fuel. Now PPAF promotes income generation in the adolescent girls empowerment clubs through sales of cooked food and eventually of solar ovens as signature elements of that program. Inspiration, advocacy, and partnering are at the heart of our work. We have held several Partners Against Poverty multi-stakeholder conferences at UN headquarters on bioenergy, women's empowerment, and microfinance. In the Dominican Republic, we co-convened with the government and others seminars on national planning for aquaculture, that's a fancy word for fish farming, and for investment in renewable energy. After the 2010 earthquake, we co-convened with a Haitian American investment group a workshop on business and reconstruction. Again, at the UN, we convened with the UN Office for Partnerships a conference on ethanol cook stoves, and with the Department of Public Information, the first such presentation of the Global Alliance for Clean Cook Stoves resource guide on scaling adoption of clean cooking solutions through women's empowerment. As side events to sessions of the UN Commission on the Status of Women, we have co-convened seminars at the UN Foundation on girls, women, clean energy, and entrepreneurship. PPAF's motto is policies into practice. And that's what we have here today with Amir Dosal's challenge for a commitment before we leave the room. To take the broad international agreements on priorities, especially the Sustainable Development Goals, and to contribute to them through collaboration, innovation, and inspiration. These are transformative actions. They require involvement by all, and in particular, public-private partnerships. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Ambassador McDonald mentioned that I think he said I spent my life in the U.S. Foreign Service. Actually, it was only 25 years. The job that I liked the best, actually, was as the Regional Refugee Coordinator for West Africa. So I went around refugee camps throughout that region of Africa, and I saw solar cookers. And they did a lot for the refugee camps. First of all, a lot of communities did not want refugee camps because they tend to deforest the area. Every day, women must go out and find wood for cooking, and you have thousands of refugees doing that every day, and it doesn't take very long to really deforest a large area. So communities didn't want refugee camps there. With solar cookers, that was no longer a problem. Also, as women went further and further into the forest, to find wood to cook their food, they were in greater and greater danger of sexual violence. And so preventing women from going out into the forest to find wood and having a solar cooker that they didn't need to do that prevented sexual violence. It also gave them more time with their children. They had more time at home as they didn't have to go out further and further every day to get the wood. So I really appreciate the wonderful work that is done in finding good and efficient ways to cook food. So thank you very much for your presentation. Another way that you can become connected to the UN, and it's primarily a way for businesses to be connected to the UN, is the UN Global Compact. And our next speaker, Javier Cortez, is the head of the UN Global Compact Local Networks for the